What is covered under my insurance plan? So this is a really great question. A lot of people wonder, if I'm paying this much money for an insurance plan, what does it actually cover for me? The plans that I sell, the plans that I help my clients enroll in are typically qualified health plans. Those are going to be plans that follow the guidelines of the Affordable Care Act. Make sure that you have the minimum essential coverage, things like prenatal coverage, ambulatory coverage, free preventative coverage. They also have what's called a MOOP, or a maximum out of pocket. I think this is one of the coolest things about these plans, because in the past, when you bought an insurance plan, they would have a maximum benefit, and that was the most money that insurance company would pay for you regardless of your medical costs. Typically it was pretty high, like $5 million, but still you were limited on how much coverage you can get. Nowadays, we have an annual maximum out of pocket. That's going to change with each plan, but legally it can't be any more than $94.50 this year. So that means as long as you stay inside the network and as long as you follow the guidelines of the plan, that is the most you would have in medical bills. So if you had a $250,000 event, God forbid you got cancer or something like that, you're limited to $9,450. So when you don't use your coverage very often, or maybe you're just getting your annual checkup, that premium feels like a lot of money. But if something happens, you're capped at your out-of-pocket costs, and it'll save your bacon for sure. When you're using one of these qualified health plans, they are all network bound. So it's really important that you find the doctors that are in network. If you go out of network on an HMO plan, you're not going to have any coverage at all. If you go out of network on a PPO plan, it's going to be much, much more expensive for you. So you want to make sure that you stay in network. One little tip I like to tell my clients, don't ask the doctor. Don't ask the doctor if they take an insurance plan. The reason is insurance plans will typically have 6 or 7 different networks depending on what kind of coverage it is. Rather, ask me, and I will happily look it up for you and make sure that the doctor that you want to go see is in your network. When you're looking at your plan during open enrollment, that's when we're going to talk about keeping your current doctor. People want to make sure that they can have access to the same doctor that they have. And for the most part, we can usually find a plan that'll cover the doctors in a particular area. Not always. Sometimes doctors are heavily specialized, or they're not going to contract with insurance companies, but for the most part we can. The other really great thing about qualified health plans is emergency coverage. So even on an HMO, which is a closed network, if you are traveling outside of the network area, you still have coverage if you have an emergency. If you go to the emergency room, you will be covered, meaning you will have the same out-of-pocket costs and limitations that you do here in network. So traveling is perfectly safe on an HMO plan, and you're not going to be without coverage. Also, in smaller markets like Reno, Nevada, where I am, sometimes there's things that simply cannot be handled in network. For example, right now, today, there can't be any organ transplants in the state of Nevada. You have to go outside. In that case, the insurance company will make an exception. So even if you're on an HMO, you still have that coverage just like you're in network. So it's important that you follow the network, but it's also important to realize all of the value you get from a qualified health plan. So when it comes time to review your health plan or look into a new health plan for you, give us a call at Aware Benefits. We're here to help. Aware Benefits, your friend with benefits.